Just a brief update on what is happening in the areas where we are covering. As you can already see, we are talking about one senatorial seat that is in Baringo, 6 National Assembly seats, 15 members of county assemblies. A total of 18 counties are heading to the polls today. A total of 181 candidates cleared by the IEBC. And just to give a breakdown of these areas in details, we're talking about Banisa constituency, Magarini, Mbeere North, Ugunja, Kasipul, and Malava. We've already given you an overview of these particular areas. And when we talk about county assembly seats, we have in Nyamira County 3 wards, that is Nyansiango, Nyamaya, Ekerenyo. And I should have started with Nairobi because it says charity begins at home. Right here in Nairobi, we have Kariobangi North. Turkana, we have 2 wards, that is Lake Zone and Nanam wards. In Bungoma, we have Kabuchai and Chwele wards. In Samburu, we have Angata Nanyokoi. These are the wards in Samburu. In Nandi, we're talking about Chemuno and Keptunyo. In Tana River, we have Chowani Ward, Garissa Fafi Ward, Kakamega Kisa East, Machakos County, Mumbuni North Ward, where my colleague Mwanambai was just there. And Narok County, we have Narok Town Ward. And finally, Kajiado County, we have Purko Ward. I want us to go back to Malava constituency. This time, my colleague Apollo Kamau is joining me live, and I can already see a lot of activity behind him. Apollo, good morning, and what can you tell us about the area where you're in, Malava constituency, this morning?
Good morning from Lunyu Primary School here in Malava constituency, where DAP Kenya party candidate Seth Panyako has just voted. He is accompanied by DAP Kenya party leader Eugine Wamalwa. But as we are going to learn, there are some interesting development, and let's hear from Mheshimiwa Eugine Wamalwa. This morning we are hearing incidences of violence that have happened overnight. What went on?
Yesterday we did address the nation on very clear plans by the government to disrupt voting, to manipulate the voting, and to do this, they were employing about 3 tactics. The opinion polls show that the government candidates are trailing the opposition candidates. Here in Malava, Honorable Seth Panyako was leading by 58%, followed by the UDA candidate, Ndakwa, at 38%. When you go to Mbeere, Karis was leading. And when you go to Magarini, Stanley Karisa Kenga was leading. We are in possession of their pre-marked ballots that are supposed to bridge the gap between the government candidates and the opposition candidates. Here in Malava, there are about 10,000 pre-marked ballots that have been brought here. In Magarini, another 10,000. But in Mbeere, they have taken 15,000. Now, this was out of the over 800,000 ballots that were printed in Greece. But the serialization was tampered with. And they never allowed the opposition and all participants to do the verification and the inspection by the law. This has created ballots that are unaccounted for. These are the over 30,000 ballots we're talking about. Now, to get these ballots in to bridge the gap between Panyako and Ndakwa, or between Karis and Mudende, or between Kenga in Magarini and Kombe, they must, first of all, use goons who are escorted by the police to cause violence. So their number 1 weapon of choice is violence. When we announced this yesterday, I didn't know within 3 hours, by the time I left Nairobi and landed here at home, they had from 8 to 9 o'clock already surrounded Seth Panyako's hotel, just a few kilometers down the road from Lunyu polling station where he votes. He just lives down the road at Downhill. He was with his dear wife who is here with us, and they were surrounded and they were attacked. Now, those who led the goons We had Stanley Livondo, who has a reputation, having participated in Langata polls before, of violence and bribery. He was called Mr. Moneybags. We also had Nabina Bwera, that is the MP for the neighboring constituency of Lugari, who was actually the commander of these goons. And we had Rashid Echesa from Mumias West, who also has the reputation of violence. And all these were under the command of none other than Farouk Kibet, the president's personal aide. They raided this hotel for hours. Our candidate tried to reach out to the police. There was no response. He had to escape on a motorbike with his wife at night. And eventually, they broke in after the gates were locked. The police from Matete police station, using our police Land Cruiser, they are the ones who broke the gate and allowed access by the goons. So the police were working in cahoots with the goons to cause violence, and it was a deliberate attempt to assassinate our candidate because they have been unable in the last 5 weeks to bridge the gap. He has been leading in all polls, including UDA polls. So we want to tell this government that we are aware, and we told the country yesterday, no amount of violence or police harassment is going to change the will of the people. The heavy bribery that has gone on, including yesterday, the women rep of Kakamega, Elsie Mohanda, dishing out relief food, beans, rice, using non-food items, blankets, and mattresses, accompanied by the PS Beatrice Nyangala, using chiefs, sub-chiefs, to actually try and woo the people to vote for the government. So all these are election offenses. And the most blatant one is the extra ballots that they're trying to introduce. So apart from the attack on the candidate himself, we are aware that in the course of today, they are still going to try and cause violence. These goons, after the raid on Panyako's home last night, they have retreated. But in the course of the day, we are aware they are going to go to strongholds of our candidate to cause violence. Then the police will disrupt. And once that is done, there are presiding officers who are targeted to now bring in these ballots in that confusion. So we are aware of all this. And what we want to urge our supporters is that 10,000 ballots are not enough to change the will of the people. There are over 90,000 registered voters in Malava. Please come out. Mujitokeze. Musiuziwe uoga. We know Panyako is your choice. Is a people's choice. Don't allow your choice to be overturned by these tactics by William Ruto, Farouk Kibet, and their goons. Thank you.
Let's hear from Mheshimiwa Panyako. Mheshimiwa, what transpired last night?